Hey, what's going on, everyone? Henry Kaminski here, the brand doctor from uniquedesigns.net with another quick Friday tutorial video for you guys. Today, I want to address a question that I received from one of my Facebook followers that went a little something like this. So I had asked them previously, what sort of tutorial videos would you like me to, cover in the future? And we got some great responses. One from Dion Armand Machochi. I'd like a step-by-step on how to make sausage and peppers. And that's my cousin, so he likes to break my chops any chance he could get. But in all seriousness, Sharon Horn Elstrom asks, I am pretty embarrassed to say some sort of audit or walkthrough of how to clean up, excuse me, your lack of intentional brand mess created over years of non-internet activity, but wanting to move to create a consistent brand presence. Where is the most important places to start? Asking for a friend. So, Sharon, in today's video, we are going to walk you through what I like to call the high-level view of the branding blueprint to get your business looking more consistent, more polished, more professional, so that you can start attracting higher quality clients. So let's dive in and hammer out the branding blueprint. And I'm going to go over, I believe it's 7 key points that is really going to help take your brand to the next level and help you attract quality clients. So we're going to look at logos. We're going to look at color scheme. We're going to look at fonts and typography. We're going to look at imagery, full voice, your brand's voice, the design elements that you use for your brand, and the positioning that your brand should be creating in order to be looked at as the subject matter expert. So, logos. Consider this. As humans, we have always used symbols to express our individuality and a sense of pride. In most cases, these symbols represent our loyalty. There's also a signal, they also signal a sense of ownership. So some of the things that we want you to be thinking about when reviewing your logo and asking yourself, should I get my logo redone? Should I create a new logo altogether? Or if you're just starting out. So here's some of the questions that I want you to ask yourself. When reviewing your logo. So on a spectrum of logo types, do you want a logo to be more literal or conceptual? Right? What's the most important story to be communicated in your logo? One of the biggest problems I see with businesses these days is that they try to make their logo do way too much. And logos are just one part of your brand. So let them do their thing, but let them do one individual task. They shouldn't be trying to do way too much. Okay? So the other question is, for the logo font, is your brand story better told by a serif font or a sans serif font or a script font? So you really got to understand your brand's look and feel and personality before you move forward on a font selection. So does your logo have the right hierarchy of information? Is the emphasis placed on the right words or symbols? All right. What do you want people to remember about your logo? What type of logo will appeal to my ideal target audience? I can tell you, if you're looking for a higher quality client, less is more. Okay. Quick little tip there. So how can my logo stand out from my competitors? Where will my logo live? So will it be on signage? Will it be just on digital? Will it be on print collateral? It's good understanding to understand all of that so that you know how to create it. And the last question is, am I making sure the logo will stand out, whether it's online or in print? So logo, first place you should be paying attention to when it comes to cleaning up your brand's identity. Now, color. Right? Color creates emotion. It triggers memory, and it gives off a sensation, right? I can get into color psychology and talk about it for days, but for the sake of this video, we're going to stick to these 7 points. So some of the things that I want you to consider with color is these quick questions, okay? Is your brand attempting to own a singular color? All right. So for us, we throw a lot of emphasis on the color purple. It's a great color of mine, favorite color of mine. And so I put a lot of emphasis on color. It represents royalty. It represents premium. You could look up the definitions of or the psychology of the color purple, and it'll represent what Unique Designs is all about. Right? Are your colors consistent across various media and marketing channels? The one thing I see a lot is inconsistency with brand identity. All right. So you want to make sure once you pick your color scheme that you use it throughout all your platforms, print, digital, so on. Have you tested your brand colors on different surfaces or applications? Okay. So your color purple, if you choose color purple, may look a little different on print collateral based on the printing and the types of printing and how it's printed. So pay attention to that. Is your brand better off using warm or cool colors? Does your color system use complementary colors, use tints or shades? Have you researched and evaluated the connotations and meanings of your brand colors in different countries and cultures, especially if you're a global brand? All right. Are you choosing a color to create meaning, add depth, or tell a story? Or are the colors chosen simply because you quote unquote like them, right? It's not about you guys. It's about your customers. So remember that. Will your color system be flexible enough to allow for a range of dynamic applications? Okay. Are you using color in a strategic way to support your brand architecture? Have you evaluated the pros and cons of using color to differentiate products, businesses, or simply categories of information? I should say business verticals, or simply categories of information. Do you need a bold color palette or a pastel palette? Can you reproduce your brand colors easily? Do you have color specs for Pantone, RGB, CMYK, and web? Have you named your colors? So color is the second phase of where you should be paying attention to sort of wrangle in the mess, quote unquote, the brand mess, Sharon says before, when it comes to creating a great brand. So the next step the next tip or the next place you should be looking is fonts and type. So type is magical. It doesn't only communicate words and information, but it conveys a subliminal message as well, right? So have you ever looked for a listing or typefaces and fonts by personality and wanted to know which ones are best for communicating different messages? So let's get into the questions. So ask yourself these questions. Is your typeface legible? Does the typeface include letters, numerals, or bullets? Does the typeface family complement the logo or the brand identity? I had a client yesterday, he had a sans serif font and then he had this medieval looking font and it just didn't flow together. I said, you got to pick one or the other. You can't use both. So are you meeting compliance requirements regarding type size? How many fonts are you using in your branding? The rule should be 2 to 3 maximum. Are your fonts distinctive in the category? If you're using commonly available fonts, are you losing an opportunity to be more memorable? Is your font appropriate for your industry? In other words, the type of font for a classic romance movie would be different than a font for a mysterious horror movie, right? Probably want to go with a more distressed font, a more creepy font for that. So are you using fonts consistently throughout your visual systems? I always tell people, once we make your brand guide, that's like your Bible. And you should not deviate from the font selections that we chose for your font. Otherwise, you're going to come across as an inconsistent, sloppy brand. All right? So we don't want that. All right? What are the top 3 personality characteristics that your font represents? So a few adjectives here, brainstorming going forward would be forward thinking, daring, adventurous, conservative, modern, or classic. All right? So imagery is extremely important when it comes to creating that consistent look and feel for your brand. All right. So some of the questions that I want you to ask yourself is, Do you incorporate at least 2 to 3 categories of images? So professional images of you, perhaps, personal images displaying your personality, customer client images of you interacting with client work, all right? If you're using stock photography, are these images popularly downloaded or more obscure? I see tons of people using the same 10 stock images on Shutterstock or iStock, and it's kind of silly, right? Are you using benefit-oriented images, right? What I like to say is your message needs to match the image and vice versa. That's going to create a tremendous amount of emotion inside the client. And the more senses that you can stimulate, the more memorable you're going to be. Are you using the right images to communicate your message? Do you have a healthy mix of conceptually based or literally based images? Are your images consistent throughout your entire online and offline presence? Is there a common story that threads all images? Ask a professional colleague or ideal client to tell you how they feel when they look at your images on your branding. And if you're not happy with those responses, change it, and change it fast. All right? So let's get into voice, right? Nike didn't discover the power of advertising. Nike discovered the power of their own voice. So ask yourself, what are 5 words describing your brand's personality? Review your photos and the videos that represent your brand. And ask yourself, do these 3 to 5 personality adjectives come through loud and clear? If not, we got to disconnect. Same thing with your headlines and your body copy on your website, sales funnels, and marketing materials. Are these 3 to 5 personality adjectives represented in the language? So review your photos, your videos, and really make sure that there is a consistency there, right? Is your voice distinct in the industry in which your business operates? So now let's get into design, guys. Design is thinking made visual. So some of the questions that I want you to ask yourself here is, does the overall design and layout aid in communicating your brand voice and message? Is the layout of your brand done in a way that enhances the delivery of the information and experience? Again, less is more when it comes to premium and high quality clients, guys. So remember, keep it simple, right? Do your major revenue generators occupy the most real estate in your marketing materials? Ding. Your website must be optimized to sell. Otherwise, why have a website, right? Is your information organized in an easy to understand hierarchy or mixed up with laddering up the most salient points? I was just working with a client recently, and their website is just too much information. It gives me anxiety when I go to it because the information's all over the place. There's no smooth delivery of the information in a systematic hierarchy, which is very, very confusing for the viewer, right? And are you giving people what they want loud and clear and upfront? Or are you burying that information by putting your agenda first? So again, guys, your customer comes first more than anything. I always tell my clients, I'm building this brand for you, obviously, but who we're really working for here is your customers. So remember that it's not about you, it's about them. Right. And last but not least, positioning. The basic approach of positioning is not to create something new and different, but to manipulate what's already in the mind and to retie those connections that already exist. So some questions that I want you to think about here are, who's your target audience? What problems are you solving? Why should people listen to you? What makes you a credible source? What makes you the subject matter expert? What differentiates you from everyone else? What is your X factor, right? And what makes your brand relevant to your audience? So there you have it, guys. 7 quick tips on where you should be paying attention inside of your branding to really create a consistent flow, a consistent connection, a more professional, a more polished business. so that you can connect with high quality clients. Remember, guys, the quality of your branding will determine the quality of your clients. So hope you got some value out of this video. Drop some comments below. Have some questions. That's where you put them, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm on a mission, guys, to help you level up your business, level up your brand, and just take your whole identity to the next level. So I'll continue these Friday tutorial series videos for you to bring you as much value as I possibly can. Have an amazing day. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I will keep it consistent for you guys. And there you have it. So have an awesome day. I'll catch you on the next video.